Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today for Making Progress with Mayor Leroy Sullivan. I'm happy and excited to be here today. First, I want to talk about the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast and the National Day of Prayer that was held today at 7:30 this morning at the Lemon Memorial Center. We had a great time. There was prayer for this community, prayer for education system. There's prayer for our children. We prayed for everything. We prayed for our country as a whole and for the city of Donaldsonville. So if you missed it, you missed a great time, but I'm happy that Mike Todrich was there to record it. It's on Facebook Live with the city of Donaldsonville, so you can go and listen and see what was done at the city of Donaldsonville. But I'm happy to have with me today two executive directors. The first one to my left is Ms. Juanita Pearlie Darcy, and she's the executive director for the Donaldsonville Area Chamber of Commerce. And to her immediate left is Mr. Lee Malonson, who's no stranger to the city of Donaldsonville, and he is the executive director of Mbeka. And there's going to be an event that is coming up on Monday at the Lemon Center. So we'll start with you, Ms. Juanita Pearlie. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on with the Chamber of Commerce, and then we'll talk about Mbeka.
Yes, thank you, first of all, Mayor, for allowing me to be here on the show with you today. And this morning I did attend the Mayor Prayer Breakfast, and it was absolutely awesome. It just seems as though every year it grows and more people are in attendance. But as for the event that will be held on Monday, May 11th, from 5 to 7 p.m., at the Lemon Memorial Center, and that is kicking off Small Business Week. Now, just as the name says small, it doesn't mean that everything about it is small. The purpose, our main purpose, is to have big business come in and see what our local small business have to offer. We do know that with all of the growth that is coming to Donaldsonville, that they may be looking for certain businesses to assist them in what they do, from lawn care to catering to just about everything, t-shirts, embroidery, um, painting, anything and everything. We here in Donaldsonville have those type of businesses, and they all keep saying they want to keep it local. So guess what? We want to promote local. So we're also inviting any business of any type to come to the Lemon Memorial Center on Monday, May 11th, from 5 to 7 p.m. The mayor will also at that time do a proclamation for naming Monday as Small Business Day. So this too will be a great event. And even greater is that this event is totally free, absolutely free. All you have to do is sign up so that we can have adequate space and tables for you and have you there. And then you can showcase for yourself, sell yourself, make yourself presentable to whomever is coming through, and see what your business has to offer for everyone. It doesn't just mean that you're advertising to the big businesses, but you're advertising locally so that even local, we can say, oh, we have that. Let me get their card. Let me look, see what it is, where they're, and what they're doing. So please come out Monday, May 11th, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Lemon Center. And also, this is collaboration of the Donaldsonville Chamber of Commerce and Mbeka. So it's it's something that you need as well as we need you. So I invite you all to come out.
So, and I guess one of the key things that you said is this small business seminar is going to take place at the Lemon Center on Monday from 5 to 7. But it's an opportunity, like you said, for other big businesses, all that is going on in the Mortis area. Hopefully, those businesses can come and learn what Donaldsonville has to offer, and not just Donaldsonville, even the surrounding parishes.
Yes.
What do they have to offer? Where we can keep it local within the framework of the river parishes, the west bank of the river, and make sure that we can help small businesses get jobs and get opportunities, because small businesses may not have all of the resources to be able to get the whole pie, but if they can get a little small piece of the pie of things that are happening in the Modus area, then that would help that small business, it would help our community, and it would also help the big businesses, because they are helping someone else. Because not all businesses start off big. They started off small,
Yes.
and they had to work their way up in order to do it. So it's an opportunity to help someone else. And so I think it's a great idea, and hopefully people will come out in order to be a part of this event. And and if you're not sure, just come out anyway, and you may be surprised as what you will learn or the networking that you would be able to do. So thank you for that. And Lee, I know you have something you want to say. You didn't come to just sit idly by. So tell us, what are you doing and what's going on, and what part do you play in the whole event that's going to take
Thank
place
you,
on
Mayor.
Monday?
So, as we were just speaking about, I think 21 years ago, you became mayor 20 years ago. 21 years ago, Embecca was started.
Okay.
Our founder is from Donaldsonville. Roy Kazare was the state representative at the time.
Okay.
Everyone will remember many years ago, we were targeted for a multimodal transportation facility.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that did not work out, but part of that process was the Louisiana Department of Economic Development asked us if we were interested in creating a small business center in Donaldsonville to help prepare the small businesses for this huge influx of people that were coming.
Right.
And so we did that back then, and we were in Donaldsonville, and we still are. We had office spaces here in multiple locations. Since COVID, we don't do office locations anymore because we find ourselves doing classes wherever the people are. But we've grown a lot in 21 years. So we do Small Business Week every year. This year will be no different. What our program does is we help them to learn and understand how to start and grow a small business, or if they're already in business, how to accelerate it to another level. Maybe creating more profit. It may be adapting to AI. It may be dealing with cybersecurity. It just depends on what they need. Now in Becca, we do service the River Parish region first and foremost, Ascension. Although we are a statewide organization now, we do focus mostly right here at home. We actually have 2 graduating classes that are going to be awarded their certificates coming up at the end of May. Both were from Donaldsonville.
Okay.
There's 20 people that finished those programs here in Donaldsonville, and that was a free opportunity for them to learn how to start their businesses. Some of them are already in business. Others, it was a great idea. They were just trying to figure out, how do I get this started? And now I need to borrow money.
Right.
Embecca's no stranger to some of the businesses here in Donaldsonville. As I drive along, I'm happy to still see some of our clients running and doing well. And so again, we will continue to focus on Donaldsonville and the rest of this region, but home is where the heart is. So we're always looking at Donaldsonville, and the West Bank is important. But what we decided to do this year on this event, you guys you've brought some great events to Donaldsonville at the Lemon Center, where you'd go and you meet all of these heavy industry partners.
Right.
So we decided to do it the opposite direction this time. So we're going to have all the small businesses around the room, and heavy industry has been invited to be our guests, and they can join in a very social function, networking function, to see everything we've got to offer. One thing that we've learned now, Embecca has a supplier diversity group that is working diligently to make sure our small firms know what they have to have. One thing you mentioned earlier is that you can't, sometimes they believe they're going to get the entire project, which would be delightful, but lots of times they can only do a small part.
Right.
What we try to teach them in that particular council is that we want to make sure they understand To go behind the battery of a plant, you probably need $1 million auto insurance policy. Some of our small firms are just not ready for that. It's not to say they can't get ready, but right now they just are not prepared. We focus also though on working with the prime contractors. So we talk to Turner. We have a mentor program. Turner and CF and PSC Group, a lot of those people, MMR, they work with our people to help mentor them along the way and tell them, look, if you plan on becoming one of our contractors, this is what you're going to need to do. The chemical plants, heavy industry would say the same thing. If you plan on ever getting behind that gate, this is what you're going to need to do. This year, we decided also to not only invite heavy industry, we also invited commercial industries. So Prevost will be there, our West Ascension Parish Hospital will be there. We've invited Rev, and we've invited all of the larger firms that the parish and the school board and the sheriff's office, they've all been invited to tell us, how do you do procurement? What is your vendor management process? Some, like the public entities like the city, they have to bid on projects, but there's still criteria to meet. So we want to make sure they know how to do it. Number two is certifications. A lot of these small firms are not certified with the state to do business with the state, and that's a free process. We teach them how to do that, and we get them certified. There are 3 specifically. One is for what's considered a small and emerging business. One is for minority-owned or women-owned businesses, and the final is veteran-owned businesses. You can technically get all 3 of those. They are free. If you have them, you get bonus points every time you try to procure a contract. What we learned after Hurricane Ida, which was quite surprising, a number of the prime contractors now are competing against each other, of course, and they can't get those certifications because they're too large. So if you look around, you'll see Turner and you'll see Cajun and Arkell and Forgin and all the larger industries. They're not Louisiana-owned companies, but most importantly, they're just too large. What they do, though, to get those points is they'll come after a small business. They'll ask them, would you like to partner with us on doing this project? Because if you do, we will give you this part of the contract, but we would like to use your certification in order to give us those incentive points. I know of 4 small firms that went from one small business owner trying to just break even to hiring over 20 people overnight. One comes to mind. She did all of the payroll for the surveyors after Hurricane Ida. That's all she did, but she needed a team of 16 people to make that work. So she went from barely breaking even to turning a profit, paying 16 people. And she's not the only example. There's plenty of that. So we tell people, don't get discouraged. You may not be able to go and weld pipe or pig pipes or do these larger projects. You might not have the ability to connect the hydrogen connection to the mega furnace at Hyundai. That's okay. That's not what you need to do. But you know what? That you might be able to do these things. And that's where you are. And then, of course, front of house. CF, I will tell you, and I'm going to hats off to CF Industries, because we hosted a program in Gonzales at the parish's office where we invited a number of heavy industry, Shell, CF, the larger players, Methanex, they were all there. And you know, Mayor, they don't have to give bonus points for minority-owned businesses or diverse businesses. But a number of the chemical plants said, you know, we don't have to do that, but we do. Yeah. We're not going to make it mandatory for your business to have a certification, but if you have it, that's going to matter. I think where CF impresses me the most, they were unique when they said, but we go beyond certification. We want to know where you're located. We want to know, do you hire people? We want to know, do you pay them health insurance? And that was very impressive. And, you know, in the small business network that was created with the Ascension Chamber, and I'm going to announce the one we partnered to create here, they were very strong about that. So there were people in the audience who says, okay, so that gives me incentive now to really help my small firms and my employees because they don't offer it. So we learned from that experience that it's time to start a small business council here in Donaldsonville. Right. So Mbecca decided, we did it at the Ascension Chamber, and it was a pilot. It worked well. They were interested in, why don't we have meetings in Donaldsonville? And I said, well, I'm a board member of the Chamber in Donaldsonville. And I said, you know, why don't we just start a small business council in Donaldsonville? So I went to the last board meeting when we presented our new strategic plan. And I want to tell you, Mayor, the new face of the chamber is unreal. All of the new things we have coming with the Industry Council, the Economic Development Council, Small Business Council. It is unreal how the board members want to get more engaged and really step in and take that chamber to the next level. They immediately said, if Becca wants to help with the Small Business Council, let's do it. So we did. So on Monday, and thanks to a partnership with the city, of having it at the Lemon Center, we're going to officially launch the Small Business Council. And to tell you what they will do, the Small Business Council, every final Tuesday of the month, except for the final Tuesday of the quarter, we'll have a free workshop at the library for anyone to come and learn about a number of topics having to do from your finances to QuickBooks to marketing to dealing with heavy industry. That'll be at the library for a lunch, and it's going to be every final Tuesday of the month, except the final quarter. The final Tuesday of the quarter, again, partnering with the city, is the Chamber's all-member luncheon. We've never had these before. So now we're going to bring the entire Chamber program, and we're going to invite guest speakers to come and speak. And the Chamber official luncheon will be the final Tuesday of the quarter. Now in December, we're moving that up a week because, of course, that's between Christmas and New Year's. But we will likely do a nonprofit fundraising effort for local youth, whether it's a toy drive or something that we can do as chamber members to help. But that is all part of this effort to show economic impact, to help our small businesses realize the benefits of that impact, and to encourage not only people from Donaldsonville to patronize Donaldsonville businesses, but to let the people from other areas around us to do the same thing. When this was launched, I'm the chair of the Small Business Council at the Ascension Chamber. So I told them this is coming, and you would not believe the number of Ascension Chamber members now that are wanting to join the Donaldsonville Chamber. So we are thrilled to see that because as we often joked about this, I know you and I spoke at one of those functions, and Ms. Purley, I think you ended it and you said, despite popular belief, the Sunshine Bridge does not stop in the middle. It does connect to another part of the land. And we are encouraging people, please don't forget about the West Bank. We're here. We don't flood. So we're here. We've got great places to live and grow, but most importantly, we have opportunity. So instead of you competing against 40 businesses that do the same thing, you could very well be the only one doing that here. So I'll conclude by saying, we also partner with Ascension Economic Development, obviously with LED. They spend a lot of time giving us sales collection, tax collection data so that we can guide people in these classes. We want to tell them, look, we don't need, and everyone jokes with me when I say we don't need another hair salon. I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm just going to say we know that this sales tax is going out of 70346. That means there is a gap for that business. So if you really want to do hair, that's fine. But why don't you look at this, because they're going out of time to do this now. And so we've noticed in our classes, people came in with an idea and 3 of them said, well, I want to talk about what you just said about that gap. We call it sales leakage. I know you know very well what that is. And he said, I want to talk to you about that gap. And so we did. I spoke at a meeting in Gonzales on Monday of this week. And we were talking about grocery stores. I said we have a few small community grocery stores. The research points to that is the new trend. And if you're not sure of that, walk into any Dollar General and you will see they are slowly adding grocery. They're doing things. The days of the big Walmarts, we're glad we got one, but clearly they're shrinking. And so he looked at me, he says, do you think, and I can't share who it is yet, but he said, do you think we would be okay in Donaldsonville? I said, I personally witnessed the number of people who go to this store in Gonzales. You will do fine in Donaldsonville. So we actually have developers who are working with landowners. One of them, I think, came to meet with you, but we're under, I'm not going to say who she is. She can say that on her own. But she said, have you any ideas? She's met with some landowners, and I think they have investors ready to invest. And now we might have a tenant to plug into it. So healthy competition always is good. but more importantly, it helps our citizens.
Yeah, and I can tell you, daily, there are investors coming and wanting to meet with me, talk about, land, about opening businesses, just you name it. People are coming here to talk about it because they know that the West Bank of Ascension Parish is getting ready to grow tremendously. And so businesses that would be like, nah, can't come to Downsville is too small. Now it's saying, let me get in on the front end.
Absolutely.
Because this area is getting ready to really, really grow. So it's very encouraging, that people are interested in Downsville. People want to come here. People want to come and live in the city of Donaldsonville. And so we have so much going on and so much potential. But we have to make sure that we always put our best foot forward to attract businesses, not just big business, like you say, small businesses. So I have a question, because what I'm hearing basically on Monday, it's going to be big businesses coming in. The little businesses have an opportunity to showcase their business, their talents. But what about somebody that wants to come and how do I start a business? Will that be available
It will.
on Monday as well?
That's what I'll be doing in my booth the entire time. We were very fortunate, and Becca just received a grant. Now this one is called an accelerator grant. The state awarded it to us, and they said, Lee, you got 4 weeks. I'm like,
4 weeks.
okay. But they told us, y'all have done so well this year. Would you do an accelerator program? Now, the accelerator program is for people who are in business. So
Okay.
I know there's a local printing company here who does lots and lots of things. You might know who that is, Miss Pearlie Darcy. But nonetheless, we know that it's one of those best kept secrets, right? I know we have, I'm just joking with the people in this room, but I know we have a towing company here. Perhaps people just don't know, right?
Yeah.
But they've been in business. So the accelerator program is to get them to that next level. So we have consultants that will come in and work on very targeted, specific issues to get them to where they need to be. That's going to happen in the next 3 weeks. So that's available on our website right now. Now, the other classes will begin to enroll right after we get past July the 4th, because the state's fiscal year is going to stop on the 30th and we roll back over. So on July 6th, we start recruiting for our entrepreneurship class all over again. We've been doing them at the River Road African American Museum STEM Center right around the corner. We'll be re-enrolling for that again, and we usually take between 10 and 12. That room will hold 20. Of course, if we need a larger room, I can come talk to you, and I'm sure you would be delighted to have us in something larger, but it's too hard when it's too many. So we will be re-enrolling, and all of this is free. I think that's the part I can't emphasize enough. You don't have to be impoverished. You don't have to have any special. We don't want to see your taxes. We don't need any of that.
Right.
It takes 15 minutes to become certified, and it is free. Mayor, that's the largest challenge we have. Getting people to get in these programs. I think they think maybe it's a scam. This program has been in the state of Louisiana for 45 years. And they don't market it a lot, and I'll tell you why. If they did, the state wouldn't have enough money to fund it. 98.5% of Louisiana's workforce comes from small businesses. So they know that if we even promote that, we won't have enough. So they don't let us market. We do what we're doing now. So thank you for letting us come on the show. We go on radio, we are flyering, and we got great people. Ascension Parish News is constantly sharing our stuff. That's really the only way. It's grassroots, right? I know that we're going to be doing a program, I think perhaps at your church, which I think will be offered to your congregation. We do that. We will go to a church, we'll go to a school. And I also want to add, on Saturday, you were here, we relaunched the Youth Entrepreneurship Academy. And the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council will be the first to have the student pitch competition. This summer, we're going to have a summer camp. Again, parents can have their kids participate. It's better for high school students because some of the competencies are a little more difficult. But we will do that again this summer. And again, that's a free program. And we'll teach them how to start their own little enterprise, whether they want to start it for real or not, but they can. So a lot is coming. And we do it mostly here. I've never had problems filling classes in Donaldsonville. You'd be surprised. On the other side of the river, which I know people think that, oh, everything is in Gonzales. I stood in Dutchtown's library and one person showed up. And I'm standing there like, this is unbelievable. You want to know what really is going to make you smile? Guess where that person was from? Donaldsonville. And I said, what are you doing at this class? We're starting your class in Donaldsonville on Thursday. He said, oh, I was going to miss Thursday, so I wanted to come tonight. I'm like, okay, well, you're fine. But that class canceled because we just didn't have enough interest. So I'm like, hey, that's no problem. So guess what we did? We said, that's fine. I'll pour all that money into Donaldsonville. Donaldsonville got an extra class. So, and they don't pay us to do this. What they do is they pay the teachers we get to hire to do it, or the consultants. So I'm like, well, use it or lose it, right?
Yeah.
So we moved the funding here, and it was kind of last minute, but we hustled up people, and next week they're finishing up, and there's another 8 of them. I can't share some of their business ideas, but I know 3 of them are going to lending,
Okay.
and they're ready to roll. So, I can't say that I've seen anything better. And as far as the investors go, I definitely want to tell the viewers, first of all, the privilege of working here was unreal, to learn everything. I definitely don't miss COVID, and I certainly don't miss FEMA and hurricanes. But, people still call, believe it or not. I get calls, I'm telling you, multiple times a week, developers who had my number, and they're asking, do you know about such and such in Donaldsonville? Like, I don't work for Donaldsonville anymore, but I do, and here's who you need to call. Most of the time, I'm giving them your mobile number, and you're
Right.
probably fussing at me like,
No,
stop giving
that's
my
good.
mobile number out. But people are very interested, and with the tax credits we have here, in fact, we have an Opportunity Zone client who is moving to Donaldsonville. They're bringing their business here. We're wrapping up their Opportunity Zone application now. We helped them through it. Again, cost them not a dime. And they're going to be coming here. It's a welding company. They do specialty welds.
Very good.
They've been open for many years, and so they'll be relocating a location here. But we see more and more of it, Mayor, every single day. But we thank you for being a collaborative partner.
Yes.
And that's important.
So I do have one last question.
Sure.
So I have an idea about the business, and so I come to you, but I have no capital. I have no way
That's
of
easy.
funding it. What can you do?
So first of all, we have 14 lenders. We have a bankers roundtable.
Okay.
And I say bankers. We really call it a lenders roundtable. It has traditional banks. It has non-traditional banks such as credit unions. And then we also have what we call micro lenders. They are all federally funded. Those interest rates go anywhere from 4.99% for over 25 years, which you can't get 4.99 hardly on a car these days, much less a small business loan that goes over a 20-year period. So from that all the way up to your traditional bank, and I'm not here to discourage, if you got a relationship with Capital One or Hancock Whitney or Chase, by all means, if they're going to work with you, B1 is probably one of the more flexible in banking, but go with that. They will not fund startups though. You mentioned the word I'm a startup, the banks are going to be an automatic no. The credit unions, on the other hand, Ascension Credit Union has been absolutely supportive of startups. Their threshold's a little bit lower, but you have others that'll take it higher. The micro lenders, I have seen them deal with people who've got credit scores in the mid 600s, lower 600s. They start you off slower. In other words, they may not give you $300,000 or $400,000. They may start you off slower, and you prove that you can build that payment schedule, and then they develop it. We don't personally lend, but we connect them to the people who do. What we will do is make sure your business plan has got everything it needs to have, so that when you show up in that committee meeting and they interview you, you're not going to be standing there like, I don't know. And in fact, I'll give credit to Moose Pierce
Yes.
and the South Central Planning and Development Commission. I work with Cullen and Lisa Malaz, and they tell me, because we give our people certificates. When you graduate our program, you get a certificate of participation, which means you came, but you didn't write a plan, or a certificate of completion. You came, you wrote the plan, I've met with you and vetted it. She tells me every time they see one of our completed certificates, She already knows that, you know what, we're not going to put you through Melissa. I'm going to take it because we know the business plan's ready. The question will be, is everything that you need to have in order for us to move you to the committee? And so far, so good. Our largest lender is on Railroad Avenue, the borrower. They are the largest one, Roof Physical Therapy. They were one of our largest, and then I think Gaston's was behind them. There was a few others, but they are of course doing terrific. But there are many examples right here at home that's worked with.
Okay, good. Miss Juanita, Pearlie, Darcy, do you have any closing comments? And don't do like no Baptist preacher and say, I'm getting ready to close, and then you talk for 10, 15 minutes, say, I'm getting ready to close now. So you got just a small window to close.
My small window, all I have to say is seize the opportunity. Seize this great advancement for your life. Come out May 11th, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Lemon Center. We are bringing big industry to small local businesses. And I do want to say one thing. One large parish company, they are members of of our chamber, and we were speaking about products and they said, oh, we have to go all the way to Texas and order those products. I said, you do know that we have 2 businesses here in Donaldsonville? I'm like, you do? And I'm like, yeah, I can refer you to them and you can go and see and make bids with them. So it was wonderful to see that instantly I got those 2 local business, some business. So
Great.
come out. All I have to say is come out. Please come out May 11th.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing all the information. And I hope that the people in this community and the surrounding communities take advantage of what will be offered on Monday, May the 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. And Mike, you're behind the scene, but thank you for your flexibility and, me calling at the last minute because I told you earlier that the show was canceled, but I appreciate all that you do. So again, thank you for joining Making Progress with Mayor Leroy Sullivan. And remember, most Thursdays at 2 o'clock, you can find us on Facebook and also on the city's website. You put it as well. So again, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
God bless you and God keep you is always my prayer.